In my most innocent year, I used a random photo of a handsome guy snapped as my profile picture, only to have it end up posted on the campus confession page. Then the guy's girl, bro, suddenly showed up. Ha ha ha, this girl is something else. Just has terrible taste. You really like that dog Jason Lou? Want me to help you chase him? After adding her on WeChat, she cheerfully sent me a bunch of photos of her with Jason, even one where he was only wearing boxers. So, sis, am I being a good wing woman or what? You're pretty and kind-hearted, surely not the petty type who'd mind our bro bond, right? I smirked. So, at the age when I had the pettiest heart, I ended up seducing her best bro. When Quinn sent those photos, I nearly spat out my drink. In the picture, Quinn was all smiles, wearing a sporty skirt set, one arm slung around Jason's neck, her legs practically rubbing against his thighs. Meanwhile, Jason beside her clearly looked uncomfortable. Damn, this is how bros play? Are you insane, Renee? You can't possibly want a man like that. My friend kept complaining while looking at my phone. My phone dinged with a WeChat notification. Girl, I've got your back, right? I even have photos of him without clothes. Wanna see? You're not going to be petty like those other girls and question our brotherly bond. Are you? I'm a freshman at H University. It's only been 2 months since the semester started, and I've already gotten along well with the female seniors in my department. As soon as they saw the confession wall, they all came to gossip with me. Jason Lou is the heartthrob of H University, a male senior in my department, and classmates with Quinley. They're 2 years ahead of me. Logically speaking, with his looks, he should have plenty of girls interested in him, but he just happens to have Quinley by his side. No matter how great a girl is, she'll end up crying and being driven away by his so-called good buddy. Not just Jason, but even the guys in their little clique revolve around her every day. Female junior. Don't go asking for trouble and become part of their little game. I sent a thankful sticker in reply. Then I took a closer look at Quinley's face on my phone screen. She seems to be doing well. Thinking of my sister's pale face, I murmured absently, Quinley, why aren't you the one in hell? Since heaven won't take her, I'll just have to take care of her myself. I opened my chat with Quinley. Of course not, since you're such good friends. Could you help me pursue Jason Lou, the male senior? I sent a shy emoji. Quinley paused for a moment, then quickly replied, Girl, are you that eager? Alright then, even Jason the dog has an admirer now. I'm happy for him. Why is your social media feed closed? Let me find some photos to send him and see if you're his type. Where'd you go? Not deleting your no. Makeup photos. Are you? Ha ha ha. My fingers froze. Sure. After opening my social media feed, Quinley stayed silent for a while. It wasn't until evening that she sent me a screenshot. Quinley, hey, a girl has her eyes on you. I already said yes for you. Don't say I never help you out. This one's actually really pretty. The picture is the only back. View photo in my social media feed. No face. Not even her straight, slender legs made the cut. Jason Lou. Get lost. I don't do relationships. Quinley sent me a sorry. Can't help meme. Sis, it's not that I'm not trying. This guy is just impossible. He always says he doesn't like girls who edit their photos. Yours is way too obvious. Girls should be more confident. You know, after saying that, she posted another update on her social media feed. Failed matchmaking for a daughter. In law, what's up with my grown son, still clinging to his dad all day? The photo showed Quinley laughing brightly and boldly, with Jason Lou carrying her on his back. His expression, a mix of doting and helplessness. I pretended not to see that social media post. Open the private chat with Quinley. It's alright, senior. I can explain it to him myself. Could I get his contact info? All I got in reply was a string of question marks. Junior, I thought you were a sensible girl. That's why I helped you ask. What's with this desperate pestering? Jason doesn't want to deal with you. He's busy being daddy's lapdog. Add him yourself if you want. Quinley's tone was sharp, but she didn't block me. She just updated her social media feed at lightning speed. In her feed, I saw no fewer than 3 of her close guy friends. The one who appeared most frequently was still Jason Lou. She seemed to genuinely care about Jason Liu. That's just perfect. Quinley got drunk that night and even sent me a voice message. Junior, listen, a girl shouldn't degrade herself. If you add Jason, even I'll look down on you. I replied quickly. Don't worry, Senior. I won't add him. Only then was Quinley satisfied. Glad you know your place. I curved my lips into a slight smile. I'll make him add me himself. After class that day, I changed into sportswear and went for a night run. The track was crowded with runners, and in the distance, I spotted a figure in black athletic wear. At 185 centimeters tall, he stood tall and handsome with well-proportioned muscles, instinctively clearing a 2-meter radius around him on the nearby track. I naturally waited for him to complete a lap before slotting in, running right behind him. After 5 laps, a light sweat had formed on my forehead. Seizing the right moment, I smoothly ran ahead of Jason Liu and managed another 2 laps. By the final stretch, I was gradually running out of steam, unintentionally blocking Jason Liu's pace behind me. Hi, classmate. I held out my phone without stopping, my face slightly pale. He came to a halt, frowning slightly. I don't add friends. I paused for a moment, gave a wry smile, and pulled up the payment code on my phone. Classmate, I think I might have low blood sugar. Could you buy me a chocolate? Jason Liu took a closer look at my face, hesitated for a second, then pulled a piece of candy from his pocket and placed in my palm. Forget the money. I brought some candy. Have this for now. I hesitated a little. Classmate, could you help me over to the side to sit down? Jason Liu agreed, supporting my arm with his palm as we walked together to the edge of the field. His phone rang, the ringtone a familiar voice. Jason Liu, pick up the phone. Jason naturally picked up his phone, his tone noticeably livelier than before. Quinn, what's up? Quinley shouted boisterously. Are you done running? Hurry out, for late. Night snacks. The guys are waiting for you. Let's get a room and game all night. Jason glanced at me, hesitating slightly. I looked up at him, exposing my slender neck, biting my lip helplessly. Thank you, classmate. I'll have my roommate pick me up. You can go back first. My mom always says I look just like my sister when I tilt my head up. Jason shook his head vaguely, but remained by my side. No need. Let's wait until they arrive. Quinn's suspicious voice came through. What are you doing? Sounds like there's a girl with you. Jason declined. You guys go ahead without me. I'll catch up later. Something came up here. With that, he ended the call. I lowered my head, a faint smile curling at the corner of my lips. By the time my roommate arrived, it was already very late. Jason Liu stood beside me, silent, and I didn't speak either. Only after the person came did I speak gently. I'm really sorry about today. Classmate, let me treat you to a meal another time. Jason Liu waved his hand, saying it wasn't necessary. After saying that, he turned and left. I didn't pay much attention to it. After all, today's goal had already been achieved. In the evening, Quinley posted on her social media feed. Jason pissed Dad off. I'll only forgive him if this post gets 100 likes. My roommate looked at me with concern. Renee, wasn't that Jason, the male senior, earlier? He and that Quinley have a shady relationship. How dare you get involved with him? I heard Quinn isn't someone to mess with. She was apparently a bad girl in high school. Birds of a feather flock together. What kind of good person could Jason Liu be? I smiled reassuringly at them. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. A bad girl. Huh? Indeed, birds of a feather flock together. Even if I've done something wrong and must pay the price. I should bring my good buddy along too. During my nightly runs over the next few days, I would nod slightly in acknowledgement whenever I passed Jason Liu. Beyond that, there was nothing more. Until the day the esports club recruitment was overflowing, and I showed up at the scene. At a glance, I spotted Quinley sitting at the judges' table, arm in arm with Jason Liu and his good friend Liu Zhou. Jason Liu was the top student in our department. He excelled in both coursework and competitions, but he was usually quite reclusive and didn't interact much with others. He only had a small gaming group, and Quinley was the only girl among them. The esports club was where they had met. Naturally, I couldn't miss out on this opportunity. Early that morning, I changed into a light pink dress, applied some light makeup, and came here to queue up. The moment Quinley saw me, her eyes widened, and she blurted out, "Why is it this girl? What is she doing here?" Quinley stared at me in utter disbelief, as if she wanted to carve a piece of my flesh out. I bit my lip and took a step back. "Senior, what do you mean by this? Am I not allowed to join the esports club?" Jason Liu looked at me curiously, his eyes scanning me from head to toe. "You play games, Junior?" I smiled lightly, just casually, in my free time. He seemed surprised, straightened up, and took my application form. "We don't have many girls in our club. This is Quinley. She's easygoing and gets along with everyone. She can show you the ropes first. The club doesn't have strict requirements. We all just play for fun in our spare time." I gave a faint smile and reached out my hand toward Quinley. "Then I'll be counting on you, Senior." Quinley stared straight at me before finally extending her hand. "No problem. I love hanging out with pretty girls. Playing games with these guys all the time is getting so boring." Quinley's tone was full of disdain. Beside her, Liu Zhou, acting like a clown, immediately stood up and slung an arm around her shoulder. Hey, Quinley, what are you talking about? Aren't we still good buddies? Ditching your bros for a pretty girl, huh?" Quinley slapped him on the back, but glanced over at Jason Liu. He wasn't paying attention to what was happening here, continuing to review the next person's registration form. Quinley breathed a sigh of relief, whistled cheerfully, and pulled me along inside. "All right, you guys carry on. I'll show the female junior around." As we walked, she lowered her voice. "Female junior, if any of them give you trouble in the future, just let me know. We're all tight, knit buddies. I'll definitely have your back." I paused for a moment. Quinley's eyes crinkled with amusement. "By the way, let's have dinner together tonight." Noticing the fiery glint in her eyes, I smiled. "Sure, female senior." After taking me to an empty classroom, Quinley went off on her own. After waiting for about an hour, Liu Zhou came looking for me. He seemed surprised when he saw me. "Didn't Quinn say you'd left?" "They've all gone for dinner. Let me walk you back to the dorm." I nodded in agreement and asked him, "Where's Jason Liu?" Liu Zhou scratched his head. "Quinn asked him to help move some things." I said nothing more and left with Leo. Leo was a genuinely kind soul, never letting the conversation lapse throughout our walk. I casually inquired about Jason Liu. According to Leo, he was clueless about romance, had never dated, and his mind was occupied solely with games and competitions, keeping him constantly busy. A total straight shooter. In the whole school, only Quinley was somewhat close to him, and that was because they'd been high school classmates. Lost in thought, I opened Quinn's social media feed. After all these years, he still hasn't won her over? That evening, as usual, I went for a night run. Jason Liu was still on the field. As I passed by, I naturally greeted him and prepared to start running, but he suddenly called out to stop me. "Wait, was it you who tried to add me on the campus confession page that day?" I turned around in surprise, feeling a bit embarrassed. "Yeah, but don't take it the wrong way. I lost a game of truth or dare and wanted to ask you, Senior, about the ICPC competition. Mr. Wong said you had experience in this area and suggested I reach out, but I couldn't even add you on WeChat. By the end, I couldn't help sticking out my tongue and openly explaining what happened that day." Jason Liu seemed surprised and became more talkative. "You're a girl studying computer science?" Computer science is the flagship program at H University. Although Quinley also attends H University, she's an art student majoring in fashion design, so gaming was her only way to connect with Jason. Thinking of this, I nodded and joked lightly. "I really love my major. I heard you and Senior Zhou are starting a business. Maybe we'll end up as colleagues someday." I chatted a bit more with Jason about entrepreneurship. A flicker of surprise shone in his eyes, and the way he looked at me gradually changed. "How did you know about that?" "My family runs a company, so I picked up a thing or two from being around it." That part wasn't a lie to him, but this year, my parents took my sister abroad for medical treatment, so they've handed the company over to me to manage. For a man like Jason Liu, ordinary girls just don't catch his eye. Someone who sets a standard so high only appreciates those who can stand beside him as equals. I subtly sized up Jason Liu. He's a very disciplined person, going for a nightly run from 7 to 8 p.m., then walking for another half hour before returning to his dorm right on time. It was already 7:03 now. Strands of hair fell across Jason Liu's forehead. His eyes slightly widened, sparkling. Gone was his usual aloof demeanor. This field isn't easy. Since Mr. Wang mentioned it, you can come to me if you have any questions. I hissed softly. But what about female senior Lee? Jason Liu had already pulled out his phone and held the QR code in front of me. He seemed puzzled by my words. I'm adding you as a friend. What does she have to do with it? After adding Jason Liu as a friend, I didn't initiate any messages with him. Instead, I updated my social media feed with my daily exercise and study routines. Jason Liu never commented or liked any of them. It wasn't until I blocked Quinn Lee and posted in my feed asking if any experts could help debug a program issue. He slowly typed in the comments, Leo Zhou loved stirring the pot. Ha ha ha, your senior Jason is the expert. Why ask here instead of him? People from other schools will think H University has no talent. I opened the chat window with Jason Liu, sent an apologetic emoji. Senior, I was afraid of disturbing you before. Jason replied quickly. It's fine. Didn't I say you could ask me if you needed anything? This bug is a bit complex, but not unsolvable. He concisely explained the solution to me. Thank you, Senior. You're welcome. After the brief exchange, I turned off my phone, skipped my night run, put on a face mask, and lay down on my bed. On WeChat, Jason sent a message. Why didn't you come for the night run today? Didn't you fix that bug? I didn't reply, just put on my sleep mask and had a wonderful nap. Men never cherish what comes too easily. It's the longing that keeps them itching for more. The real hunter often appears in the guise of prey. I didn't reply until I woke up the next day. Had a bit of a headache yesterday, so I went to bed early. Thanks, Senior. It's all sorted now. After a while, Jason Liu finally replied, club gathering tonight. Are you free? I thought about it. I've been a bit busy lately, so I'll pass. It was 2 weeks before I saw Jason Liu again. I went to the office to see a professor and happened to run into him. Jason gave a cool nod, but as we passed each other, he stopped me and spoke softly. What have you been busy with lately? Haven't seen you at night runs or club events. Are freshmen really that swamped now? Before I could answer, the professor chuckled and cut in. Xiao Qiao. You know Jason? Is there something going on here? This kid really reminds me of Julia Ruan back in the day, full of drive and ambition. She's currently forming a team for a competition, and I've already assigned them tasks. I can't possibly let you have her. Hearing Julia Ruan's name, Jason Liu's eyes darkened slightly. As if reminded of something, the professor changed the subject and began teasing us about our relationship. Standing nearby, I quickly clarified, there's nothing between Jason and me. If anything, he and that female senior Lee seem like a perfect match. The professor seemed to recognize the name too, nodding and dropping the topic before pulling out the previously assigned tasks to discuss with Jason Liu. In the midst of their heated discussion, I looked up and met Jason Liu's gaze. Catching a faint scent of sandalwood from him, Jason paused, staring at me in a daze. Slivers of light filtered through the window, just as the professor turned away to fetch water, leaving just Jason and me, locked in a silent gaze. And that moment was captured by my friend, who sent the photo to my phone. I then used a throwaway account to post it to the campus confession page. I'm shipping this couple so hard. OMG, they're literally perfect together. Can someone tell me which department these lovebirds are from? After finishing everything, I invited Jason Liu to have dinner together. He agreed, quite naturally. I originally thought Quinn Lee wouldn't see it until evening. Unexpectedly, right after I posted the update, many classmates swarmed in like bloodhounds and identified the people in the photo as me and Jason Liu. They even brought up my previous confession post on the campus wall. Are these two actually together? Is this fiction becoming reality? Someone this gorgeous would definitely succeed even confessing to the department heartthrob. Sobbing with envy, only one jarring comment stood out awkwardly. This is a violation of privacy rights. They have no relationship at all. How can you ship them over one ambiguous photo? Are you people insane? Quinley could no longer hold back and started ranting. But how many college students are pushovers? The comment section went completely wild. Aren't you that good bro of Jason Liu? The actual person involved hasn't said anything. Why are you so pressed? Salty because you can't have him? Take your L and get lost. I've seen her. She's such a tomboy, always buddying up with guys. No wonder the department heartthrob doesn't like her. The girl in the photo is way prettier and sweeter. Nothing like her. That completely broke Quinley. Jason Liu and I plan to go to a nearby Hangzhou cuisine restaurant. Liu Zhou mentioned his family is from the south, and since coming north for university, he hasn't quite adjusted to the local food. He seemed a bit surprised hearing that. Northerners rarely have a taste for southern dishes. I playfully winked. It'd be way too rude to invite someone to eat without knowing their preferences. Just as we stepped out of the school gate, we saw a girl in a pink dress waving ahead, with a somewhat helpless and awkward Liu Zhou beside her. I took a closer look. Only then did I realize this giant pink puffball was Quinley. She's about 175 centimeters tall, with yellowish skin and a larger frame. That pink dress made her look especially dark, and those glittery high heels were just mismatched and tacky. My jaw dropped, and for a moment, I was at a loss for words. Jason Liu looked at her in surprise. Quinley, why are you dressed like that? Liu Zhou face-bombed. I told you, pink is delicate. How old are you now? Quinley's expression shifted repeatedly before she finally gritted her teeth and stamped her foot. Are you all done being annoying? She bustled over to Jason Liu's side and said in a sarcastic tone, Hey, we're all good buddies. You're not going to hang out with the female junior and leave us behind, are you? After all the times I've helped you out, Jason Liu frowned, looking troubled as he sought my opinion. Since we've all run into each other, why don't we just eat together? You don't mind, do you, Junior? Quinley suddenly leaned in, her glossy pink lips parting and closing. I quietly took a step back. Of course not. It's best if Senior can join us. After all, if she doesn't come, who's going to watch me put on this show? And so, a dinner for two turned into a party of four. Jason Liu didn't think much of it and continued chatting with me about ICPC as usual. Quinley frowned the entire time, her fingers clenched tightly. When we finally arrived, she suddenly squeezed between us, deliberately pitching her voice higher. Female junior, it's time to eat. Lend me your male senior for a bit. No more shop talk. Though Quinley had changed clothes, she was still loud and boisterous, pulling them into the room with one on each arm. I walked in last by myself. Only after they entered laughing and chatting, and the staff asked if they had a reservation, did Jason Liu remember me. Where's female junior Chow? I strolled over slowly from behind. I could see a flicker of guilt in Jason Liu's eyes for having overlooked me. I smiled gently and said, right here. I told him the private room number, and the hostess's smile widened as she eagerly led us over. Quinley pouted and squeezed in to sit between Jason Liu and Liu Zhou as soon as we entered. She left me the seat next to Liu Zhou and said with a grin, Liu Zhou, you better take good care of our junior. Xiao, I liked her the moment I saw her. If she's unhappy, I'll hold you all responsible. Quick, take away all the sodas. What's a kid doing drinking soda? This is men's business. If our junior can't handle it, she can just watch us drink. Hearing this, Jason Liu gave a faint smile and, for once, joined in the teasing. Quinley's always going on about cozying up to pretty girls. Now she finally has a junior to dote on. Quinley lifted her chin, looking at me smugly. Of course, the junior and I get along great. Right, junior? Not like you guys. So annoying. I just love sweet, soft, spoken girls. Even as she said this, Quinley had already slung an arm over Jason Liu's shoulder. She just didn't notice Jason Liu's furrowed brow. Can't blame him, really. It's just Quinley's style and demeanor. They're rather hard to describe. I smiled and poured Quinley a drink, a flicker of melancholy in my eyes. You and Senior Jason have such a good relationship, Senior. Quinley nodded obliviously, chattering nonstop about how they'd known each other since high school and spent all their time together in college too. Back when Jason Liu got drunk, we even slept in the same bed once. We're brothers who've shared the same underwear. That kind of bond. My smile grew increasingly strained, and, by the end, my eyes were gradually reddening. Noticing this, Quinley curled her lips in satisfaction. Some petty girls even question our friendship. That Julia Rowan from before was no good. She was cheap herself, yet assumed everyone was like her. You're not like them too, are you, female junior? I drained the remaining alcohol and looked up calmly. Of course not, female senior. Jason Liu's gaze fell on the glass in my hand, and he frowned almost imperceptibly. You've got programming to do soon. Drink less. Quinley's eyes darkened slightly as she tugged at Jason Liu's arm, her voice syrupy sweet. Enough. Don't bother with us girls. Let female junior drink if she wants. If she gets too drunk, aren't we here to take care of her? Quinley went on, embellishing many embarrassing stories about Jason Liu and Liu Zhou, though mostly about Jason. Of course, men like him care deeply about saving face. The more I pretended to be heartbroken, the more enthusiastically Quinn rambled on. She completely failed to notice the growing impatience in Jason's eyes, and even a faint trace of disgust. Finally, when she brought up the honors Jason had won in that past competition, my eyes flickered, and I unconsciously tightened my grip on the wine glass. Jason slammed his glass down with a loud thud. His voice was icy, his gaze frigid. That's enough for today. Quinn froze, staring at him in disbelief. What do you mean by that? Slamming your glass at me? Jason, you ungrateful brat. After all I've done for you, this is how you treat me? If it weren't for me, would you even have won that award? Jason could no longer hold back, his eyes darkening as he harshly shook off Quinn's hand and turned to address an awkward Liu Zhou. She's had too much to drink. Take her home. Quinley protested indignantly. Jason Liu, confronted with Jason's icy expression, she bit her lip with tearful eyes, but reluctantly followed him away. Watching her resentful gaze from afar, I turned and locked eyes with Jason. In his eyes, I glimpsed my slightly flushed cheeks and misty gaze, alluring yet dazed. So I looked up and smiled. Senior, you're really handsome. As I stood, I stumbled unsteadily. Jason instinctively caught me. I leaned into his embrace, sniffling softly. Too bad you belong to Senior Chow. I should go back now. Don't worry, Senior Liu. I won't foolishly disturb you too. As I tried to turn away, our eyes met again, and Jason suddenly tightened his grip on my waist. My attempt to leave became a stumble back into his arms. Jason Liu's eyes reddened slightly, his gaze at me tinged with nostalgia. He leaned in closer. Just as his lips were about to meet mine, I turned my head away, and his kiss landed by my ear. Jason froze in surprise. I smacked my lips and murmured softly, "This wine is too strong. I'm so sleepy." Jason stiffened, holding that position for a long moment before finally speaking. There's nothing between Quinley and me. After a pause, he added, "You're free to indulge your wildest fantasies," leaning against his shoulder. I curled my lips into a sarcastic smile. What an enormous ego you have. Jason picked up my coat, seemingly unsure where to take me. But as soon as he opened the private room door, the server from earlier approached. She smiled warmly and gently pulled me from Jason's arms. "Are you Miss Chow's male senior?" Miss Chow mentioned earlier that if she had too much to drink, she'd be staying here tonight. Jason narrowed his eyes. When did she say that? I had no idea. Besides, if she goes with you, how can I ensure the safety of a young woman? The staff member paused, giving him a puzzled look. Didn't Miss Chow tell you? This is her own place. What's there to worry about? Miss Chow is the owner of this private kitchen. Jason Liu fell silent for a moment, but ultimately handed me over to the staff. As soon as he left, the young woman from earlier brought me a hangover soup. She was very pretty, sitting beside me with a reproachful gleam in her fox-like eyes. He's that guy, isn't he? What if something like what happened to Jia occurs again? You going out with them like this? Rubbing my aching head, I dropped the drunken act and spoke calmly. That won't happen. Didn't I bring him here? The girl was a student my sister used to sponsor, now working here to pay for her tuition. After learning about my sister's situation, she visited her a few times, cried her heart out, and swore she'd get back at those people. but I stopped him. Ruining their reputation is too lenient for them. What I want is for them to suffer unbearably, spending the rest of their lives in regret. Early the next morning, Jason Liu sent me a WeChat message. Renee, are you awake? You drank quite a bit last night. Do you have a headache? Do you remember what happened last night? I felt a wave of disgust and didn't reply. For a whole week after that day, I didn't contact him. I didn't respond to any of Jason Liu's messages either. Until the day I ran into Jason Liu while laughing with a male classmate from the competition as we went to ask the teacher a question. He finally couldn't hold back anymore. Jason Liu pulled me away expressionlessly, anger flashing in his eyes. Who was that guy? Is your affection so cheap that you can just switch to someone else so easily? I replied calmly. What does it have to do with you, Senior Jason? You and that female senior are a perfect match. Why come looking for me? Jason Liu fell silent. Just then, the male classmate from earlier called out to me from behind. Renee, let's go. We have the mock exam this afternoon. I softened my previously cold demeanor and replied gently, coming right away. Jason Liu could no longer hold back and spoke up. Renee Chow, I like you. I looked at him in surprise, my expression gradually turning complex. You and female senior Quinn Lee are so close. How could you like me? Don't joke around. Male senior Liu. Jason Liu's expression shifted repeatedly before finally settling into a faint smile. If that's the reason, I'll handle it. Renee Chow. Wait for me. I didn't answer him, only watched in silence. Male senior. I hope you won't regret this. With that, I turned and left. That day, Quinn Lee's social media feed was nearly unbearable to look at. I sifted through a stream of profanity to extract a few key pieces of information. Women are nothing but trouble. Now, he's even ditching his friends over one. What a petty woman. If he marries her someday, she'll have him wrapped around her finger. Some women really need to stop being so shameless. Does repeatedly seducing others bring you that much joy? She posted several updates on her social media feed tonight, all with pointed implications. Quinn Lee was visibly furious. I took screenshots of each one and sent them to Jason Liu. Did you have a fight with your female senior? She doesn't seem very happy. Jason Liu sent me a screenshot. Jason Liu, let's keep our distance from now on. Quinn Lee, are you out of your mind? Liu, what are you saying to your dad? Jason Liu, I have someone I like, and she doesn't want me getting too close to other girls. Quinn Lee, Renee Chow, so you're ditching your bros for a relationship? Liu, are you on something? Jason Liu, didn't you say you liked Renee Chow? You can hang out with her from now on. Just keep your distance from me. Besides, weren't you always nagging me about my love life? Now that I have a girlfriend, you don't need to worry. Quinn Lee only replied with one sentence. Jason Liu, you're something else. The chat history abruptly stopped as Jason Liu sent me a message. Ignore her. Soon after, those posts on the social media feed were all deleted. Quinn Lee called me late at night. Renee Chow, how shameless are you? Must you keep eyeing someone else's boyfriend? I laughed. Aren't you two just good buddies? Aren't you happy that your good buddy has found someone he likes? So petty. Female senior. What answered me was Quinn Lee's shrill scream from the other end of the line. Female senior. Look at you. Why so worked up? I haven't agreed to male senior Liu yet. Let's see how he performs. After saying that, I hung up and blocked her directly. I didn't return to school today, staying instead at the apartment I rented. Or rather, this apartment originally belonged to my sister, Julia Wan. Standing by the apartment window, I slowly exhaled a puff of smoke. Playing the good girl for so long has really worn me out. But who told me Jason Liu only likes this type? Easy to bully, easy to control. I looked down at my phone. 13 harassing calls. Quinn Lee really was provoked. The last harassing message was in her assertive tone. Renee Chow, I won't let you have it easy. Jason Liu and I have known each other for so many years. He can only like me. You deserve to die. I replied. What's wrong? Female senior Quinn? Feeling unloved? Should I ask male senior Jason to check on you? He's sleeping soundly. Would it be bad to wake him now? I made an international call. Checking the time, my mom picked up the phone. Her voice sounded tired. but with a hint of pleasant surprise. "Renee, your sister spoke. She said she misses you." A pang of sadness washed over me, and my voice softened considerably. "Tell her I'll go keep her company as soon as I finish up here." After chatting with my mom a bit more about my sister's recent condition, I finally felt relieved. My sister is 3 years older than me, and we've always been incredibly close since childhood. She's a gentle and kind girl, the kind everyone in our circle praises as the ideal daughter. A girl raised in love could never imagine how much malice the world might hold for her. The year my sister started college, our whole family came here to see her off. At first, she was thrilled, still the center of attention at school, even finding a boy she liked. Not long after they got together, caught up in the moment, they went to a hotel. Unexpectedly, the next day, her intimate photos spread across the entire campus. The bullying and those strange looks nearly drowned her. She dropped out, fell into depression, and even began self-harming. That was during my second year of high school. To avoid disrupting my studies, she made sure our parents didn't tell me. A few months later, when I saw her again, she was like a flower on the verge of withering, yet her eyes still held a familiar warmth. I heard her weary, gentle voice. She said, "Renee, your sister doesn't want to live anymore." In that moment, my heart felt as if it had shattered in two. After the college entrance exams, my parents took my sister abroad for treatment. I gave up on better universities and enrolled in the computer science program at H University instead. I'm different from my sister. She was born a gentle rose, but I am a thorny, poisonous flower. Holding grudges and seeking revenge is in my nature. A private investigator followed Quinley. I deliberately brought Jason Liu around her, even inviting her and Leo Zhou out to eat together. Lately, Lee had been copying my style of dressing, but it just looked awkward and mismatched. At the dinner table, I leaned against Jason Liu's shoulder with a smile, giving Lee a playful, almost shy wink. "Thanks to you playing matchmaker, senior. Otherwise, Jason and I might never have gotten together." Jason Liu chuckled. "What does she have to do with it?" That remark was the final straw that broke Lee's composure. She snapped and flipped the table over. "Jason Liu, can't you see I like you? It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, this bitch, I would have been with him long ago." Lee lunged to slap me, but Jason Liu intercepted and shoved her back harshly. Her face flushed red as she screamed at Jason through tears. "You hit me? You hit me for the slut?" Jason had reached his limit. "Have you lost your mind? Look at yourself. What's the difference between you and a shrew? It's Renee Chow I like, not you." He hurried over to check on me. I huddled pitifully in Jason's arms and mouthed a word to Quinn where he couldn't see. "Clown." She completely broke down. Quinn's face turned pale. Her makeup smeared. She cried until she laughed, biting her lip hard. "Jason Liu, how could you do this to me?" With that, she turned and ran out. Jason shielded me, radiating protective boyfriend energy. He ignored Quinley, instead comforting me in a low voice. "That's just how she is, a bit unhinged. Don't mind her. Are you okay?" I shook my head, glancing worriedly in the direction Quinn had left. "I'm fine. Should you go check on female senior? She seems to be in a bad state." Jason Liu gazed at me with deep affection. "You're my girlfriend. Why would I go see her?" I responded with a soft, gentle When a man likes you, it feels like he'd give you the sky. When he doesn't, he can be colder than a stray dog on the street. Just wait a bit longer. It'll be your turn soon. Some things get easier with practice. In the photos sent by the private investigator, Lee had found a group of people online and transferred money to them. The request was simple: take intimate photos of me. She would find a way to get someone into the hotel. Sure enough, the next day, Quinn invited Jason Liu, Leo Zhou, and me to a meal, claiming it was an apology for what happened a few days ago. Quinley came over and linked arms with me. "You're not mad at me, are you, female junior?" I'd had too much to drink that day and said some things I shouldn't have. "Jason and I have known each other for years. Of course I'm happy for you too." Jason Liu didn't speak, instead waiting for my response. Leo Zhou chimed in. "Come on, we're all friends here. Renee Xiao is a good girl. She won't take it to heart." With all these flattering remarks, Quinn Lee's smile grew even brighter. I smiled helplessly and let go of Jason Liu's hand. Since you all put it that way, how could I be petty? Jason Liu breathed a sigh of relief and somewhat ingratiatingly served me some food. Renee is so generous. Having a girlfriend like you is my good fortune. I pretended to be amused by him and took his hand again. Instead of her usual jealousy, Quinley took the lead in teasing us. Look at these lovebirds. How sweet they are. After dinner, let's take female junior gaming with us. Jason Liu looked at me hesitantly. I nodded encouragingly. Sure, I don't have anything going on tomorrow anyway, but I don't know how to play games. Quinn Lee placed a shrimp in my bowl, smiling as she did so. No worries, female junior. If you get bored, just head next door to sleep. We won't be gaming the whole time. At the hotel, Quinley booked 2 rooms, one for me to sleep in, and the other for them to game in. No one had any objections. I followed them to their esports room first, which had several gaming chairs. I watched curiously from the side. Quinn Lee volunteered to go downstairs to buy drinks. When she returned, she was holding 2 cups, handing one to me with an apologetic look. I was out of line the other day. I'm glad you're not holding it against me, female junior. I took the drink, but didn't sip it, instead looking at her sincerely. It's really fine, female senior. You all go ahead and play. Quinn Lee's gaze unconsciously drifted toward the cup. After they played a few rounds, she noticed I hadn't touched my drink and grew anxious, repeatedly urging me to drink more water and suggesting I go rest if tired. I smiled, picked up the glass, and took a couple of sips. Soon after, I saw Quinn Lee yawn several times before covering her head, feigning exhaustion. Jason, I'm a bit sleepy. I'd like to turn in early. Quinn Lee promptly set down her mouse. Jason and I will walk you over. Male senior. It's not ideal for a girl to go alone. We'll escort her. Jason Liu agreed. Quinn Lee mentioned the hotel had no same floor vacancies, so she booked rooms on 2 different levels. Thus, the 3 of us had to take the elevator down. In the elevator, Quinn Lee seemed odd, her eyelids heavy and battling to stay open. Jason Liu's gaze also appeared somewhat dazed. Watching them both, I spoke softly. Female senior. Are you tired? Quinn Lee murmured an incoherent yes. I had Jason Liu support her. So Jason, why don't you take female senior to rest first? I'll go back and tell Liu Zhou so he doesn't order any more late night snacks. After saying that, I saw them out of the elevator and went back in myself. By the time I returned to find Liu Zhou, he had already gotten bored and started playing a single-player game. See me back. He looked a bit puzzled. Where are Jason and Qingqing? I smiled helplessly. Female senior was a bit tired, so I had Jason take her to rest. I'll go down later to book another room. It seems there's still some misunderstanding between them, so I told them to talk it out properly. Liu Zhou didn't say anything more. I closed the door, put my mask back on, and took the elevator to the front desk. When I reached the first floor, a few men got in. I didn't linger but went straight to the front desk to check in, then went to my room and fell asleep. Half asleep, I heard my phone ringing. Groggily, I answered it, and on the other end was Liu Zhou's panicked voice. Renee, come up quick. What's going on? After hanging up, I leisurely put on my clothes. Upstairs was already in chaos. Quinn Lee's room was a mess. Clothes strewn everywhere, unidentified fluids, and Jason Liu lying on the floor with a pool of blood beneath him. Quinn Lee was covered in marks, huddled under the blanket, and screamed the moment she saw me. You did this. You bitch. It must have been you. You're the one who ruined Jason and me. Liu Zhou helped Jason Liu up from the floor. He looked agonized, his face twisted in pain. I cried out even louder. How could you do this to me? Liu Zhou looked somewhat uneasy and came over to support me as I broke down. Female junior. Don't panic just yet. Nothing happened between them. I cover my mouth, sobbing uncontrollably. Even now, you're still trying to comfort me. When I came this morning, there were several men in the room, and they with each of them, a nauseating, foul odor wafted from Jason Liu's body. So Quinn Lee's hired help swings both ways. According to Quinn's plan, these men were meant for me. while Jason Liu's drug was just to get the two of them into bed. I wrinkled my nose, looking at Liu Zhou. Then, why haven't you called the police yet? Quinn Lee stared at me, gritting her teeth fiercely. Call the police? We can't. If this gets out, how could I ever face anyone again? Jason Liu, they were. You wouldn't actually want to report this, would you? Jason remained silent, but clearly shared the same sentiment. His body kept trembling uncontrollably. I looked at the two of them with pity. I respect your decision, but Jason, I just can't accept what happened. Let's end things here. Jason's face turned ashen. He seemed to want to stand and say something, but slumped back down, too weak to rise. He's always been straight. What happened to him last night shattered every bit of his pride. Renee, I truly do like you. I'll make those people pay. I looked at him with disdain, just as he had done to my sister back then. I really have no interest in things that have been tainted. Perhaps Quinn Lee was too overwhelmed by the shock, to the point where she forgot what she had instructed the other party to do. Before even leaving the hotel, her photos had already spread throughout the entire school, and soon the whole city of H was buzzing with the scandal. The evil she had sown had finally come back to haunt her. Unable to accept it all, Quinn Lee went to confront those people again, but they were desperados to begin with. After pulling this off, they all fled abroad, leaving her with no way to track them down. So, out of kindness, I reported it to the police for her. When the police officers arrived, Quinn Lee was still making excuses, claiming they were just friends. I let out an indifferent, "Oh." Then I'll report them for organizing an orgy. I recounted every detail of that night's events, including how I had accidentally taken the wrong drink, and that the beverage Quinn Lee ended up drinking was the one she had originally prepared for me. The private investigator captured photos of Quinn Lee's transactions with those individuals, which I handed over to the police, explaining that I had been unaware of her intentions at the time. Frankly, it seemed like a mere romantic entanglement. Who could have guessed she'd be so vicious? In the end, Quinn Lee was imprisoned, sentenced to 10 years for multiple combined charges. Jason Liu shifted all blame onto her, prompting Quinn Lee, cornered like a desperate dog, to reveal that she had done the same to my sister, Julia Ruan. Years ago, during the competition, Julia's skills outshone even Jason Liu's, which he resented. He had discovered my plans long before that. He even personally escorted Julia into that room, evidence I still keep on my phone. After all I've done for him, he deserves to be in here with me. Quinn Lee's face twisted with rage as she cursed Jason Liu, like a madwoman in her prison cell. As she wished, Jason Liu ended up joining her behind bars. On the day the verdict was announced, I bought a plane ticket to leave the country. The sunlight was perfect as I recorded Jason Liu and Quinn Lee's vicious expressions, along with their dog confrontation. I'll show it to my sister once she's better. After landing, I specifically told my parents not to pick me up, but a gentle voice still called out from behind me, "Renee." I smiled. "Sis,